So before we start this video, I wanted to let you guys know that I have a code in the link in the description down below that'll give you 10% off of your Crowfall purchases. It's a great way to get a discount on Crowfall and a great way for helping me out and supporting the stream and YouTube channel. All right, here's the video. Hey guys, Parfax here. Today I am bringing you a Warden build on Crowfall. And wow, is this build insane. I know you guys are super excited. Crowfall's getting ready to launch here in just a few weeks, if not days, depending on when you're watching this video, or maybe it's launched already. But I wanted to bring you a build that I have ran on live server that I'm going to be running when this build, when Crowfall launches, and I can't wait to actually get this out here and show you guys this build. All right, let's get started. So first, let's talk about the race. Now, I am a Minotaur. I'm a Minotaur because they have a passive here that gives you Unbreakable. Grants immunity to all stun effects that hit you from the front. We are going to be mainly a melee playstyle with this Warden. You can play the Warden as a ranged as well, but we're going deep into the melee aspect of this class. And this is pretty insane. When you're trying to stick on somebody and when you're fighting one or two people, if you can keep them to your front, it means basically they can't do anything. They just got to sit there and either try to cut you out or out sustain you, which pretty much isn't possible. So it's pretty good. You can also do half elf. Half elf is really good. Got some pretty good passives. Got a little bit better stats than the Minotaur, but I love this passive right here. It's pretty insane. Realistically, any of the classes, or sorry, any of the races work, which are High Elf, there is Minotaur, there is Wood Elf, Elkin, and Human. I for sure probably would not go Human. Human gets an extra ability on your bar. As you can see, I'm not even using all of my bar slots. It does get an extra passive, which is good. There's not too many great minors you can use. As you can see, I'm only using 2, but it's pretty good. The half elf also gets the minor. So really play what you like. They're all really good, but my preference is the Minotaur. A lot of people like the half elf, probably the best, but my preference is the Minotaur, but to each their own. So let's first go down the skill tree. The skill tree is pretty basic. First, we're going to go up here and we're going to grab all of our stat point bundles, which is this one, close, this one, and this one. So this is pretty standard for a lot of classes. You want to get these 4 nodes. Not every single one of them take it, but it's a really good baseline if you don't know what to do. Now in there we have Barrage, which we're really never going to use that as a bow skill, but we have to take it because we can't go here and then go back. We do get Cross Slash, which is a pretty decent skill. It is going to apply a bleed. Now it's not incredibly useful because our traps are going to bleed, which you're going to see at the end. But if we don't have any really traps to put down, you can just put a bleed on your target. Really not that useful, but still pretty good. Again, we want this node right here so badly that it is worth 2 skill points to get, essentially is what we're doing here. Cross Slash isn't that bad, but it's not that great either. I'd probably much rather have Forest Step and go here and then go back, but it's not something we can do. Next, we're going to have Survivalist, and this is a pretty okay passive. Basically says whenever a toxin or a bleed effect would be applied to you, you have a chance to negate it and just completely take it off you, which is really good. It's not the reason why we come over here, but it is a really good skill. But the reason why we're really coming over here is for Draining Blades. It gives you a 10% lifesteal when you're in the melee tray. Pretty insane. We're going for Sustain here, and this passive just does, it's basically an extra 10%, you know, healing per second, or however you want to put it. An extra 10% lifesteal. It's pretty insane. Makes this class super survivable, and really you can do a lot of damage with very little gear with this class. If you don't want to go over here, you can go Fairy Fire if you want to go a little bit of anti-stealth, a little bit of prevent stealth, and it does final physical mitigation. That's a little bit more DPS, but this is a little bit more survivable. So it's kind of your pick. We do get a lot of lifesteal from this tray, so I can completely see if you want to come here. I wouldn't really go ankle shot because we're not going to go bow. So you'd have to put in another point. Maybe go skullcracker stake, which is pretty good. A little bit of attack power. But any way you want to go, if you want to go a little bit more survivable, you go draining blades. If you want to go a little bit more damage, you go here. Well, you have to go here. And then I would just grab fairy fire and then grab probably skullcracker stake. Or maybe four step. Four step's really good too. But we're Minotaur, so we don't need as much of the gap closer. So now we went over the base tree there. Now we just basically take everything in here, and right here is the reason why we won't need bleeds that much, is because our traps will apply bleeds and we will be trapping people all the time. And then the best node in the game, in my opinion, is Trap Master. Essentially, it grants a chance that any attack could spawn a trap to your target for 30 seconds. Cannot spawn more than one trap every 4 seconds, but this passive is insane. Your traps are going to hit so hard, and this is going to be just your bread and butter of your skill. When you have this off cooldown, you have 30 seconds to kill your targets with relative ease. I'm telling you, this ability is just insane. Next, we have your typical last passive here. It gives you a bunch of damage bonuses, caps, and stuff like that. Really good. Obviously, you're going to take this always. Next, we're going for the Domain Dark. If you haven't seen a video on this yet, I will be putting one out here fairly shortly about domains and how exactly all the disciplines work. But just know that we're taking the Dark Domain for, I believe both of these are Dark Domain. Yeah, that's Plaguer Dark and Dark. Yes, so we want Dark for these two. It's really good and it's pretty insane. So we've started talking about, let's go out our disciplines. So first we're going to talk about Corrupted Soul. And this discipline is pretty nuts with Trap Master. So we have Shrivel, which inflicts a disease and black mantle on an enemy, absorbing up to 500 points of healing. Disease deals 346 disease damage every 2 seconds for 10 seconds. If Shrivel hits an exposed enemy when attacked or using an ability, they are knocked down. You're not going to expose a target, but someone could expose them and it could be knocked down. But we were using them for the black mantle effect, and we're using it for that nice little dot, that little damage over time. But the real reason why I love this is for Soul Steal. Soul Steal is pretty insane and basically makes it to where any melee versus melee matchup makes you pretty much unkillable and just does insane damage. So you might look at it, you're going, why it doesn't really do that much damage, but let me tell you why. So it deploys a field for 10 seconds that causes 183 damage to enemies in area and applies Soul Steal counter to them each second while on the field. When the counter reaches 5 stacks, you're healed for 40% of the damage dealt to them in the field. So you might look at it and you're like, well, I guess it's sort of like another AoE dot that you put on the ground. But the reason why this is so good is because of your Trap Master. So you can stack up your damage types. You can do so many pieces of damage that this is just going to make sure that every 4 seconds you're going to spawn a trap. So if you put them down there, you can put down that basically little circle AoE, and it's not only going to damage your enemy, not only is it going to heal you, it's going to help proc your Trap Master, and it's going to make it really, really insane. It's also great for AoE grinding mobs too, but it's great in the melee matchup. Next, let's talk about Poisoner. Poisoner, it applies Poison Blade, which we can see right here, and let's hold down control so we can see it. It attacks your target for 432 damage. It applies a deadly poison to your weapon. If you have a poison toxin equipped, poison causes 131 poison damage every second for 10 seconds. I don't have a toxin equipped, but this discipline allows you to put a toxin and will just allow you to do some pretty insane damage. If you don't know, toxins are typically used for just assassins, but putting this on allows us to put on a toxin, and it really allows us to increase our damage significantly. And then we have a nice little passive here. It says deals poison damage with all non-bow basic attacks instead of their native damage type, which means now my auto attacks are actually going to do poison damage, which is really cool. A lot of people don't have a lot of toxin resist, so it's really good and does a lot of damage. Next, we're going to go for explosive trap. We're just going with this. If you notice, we are essentially a dot class that life steals a ton. Like, we do a lot of damage with our traps and stuff like that. They do some burst damage, but while we're bursting people, we're going to have a lot of dots on them. And here, it adds a burning damage to your concussive trap that lasts 16 seconds. So again, we are putting another dot on them, and this is pretty insane. So if you look at it, we're putting poison, burning, bleed. I think we have one more, right? We're applying our toxins. We're applying. Oh, and then we have the soul, the shrivel puts the dot on them, and we have this, which does basically like an AoE dot. So we're putting so many dots on them that it's pretty insane, and I just absolutely recommend. They will almost always have dots on them, because soon as, even if they cleanse it, we can go in and just absolutely knock them up with a bunch more. Okay, next we have critical dodge. This just resets one dodge cooldown when you're when hitting critically. This effect can occur once per 30 seconds. This is just going to allow you to be a little bit more mobile. Like I said, you can take the forest step and lose your, your life steal, but I prefer to get it through the critical dodge and the Minotaur, so that we just can be very mobile and very up in their face. Even in ranged, people will have a hard time getting away from you. So speaking of range, we do have a range tray before we go into the melee tray, and it's pretty simple. We have our bull rush here, and we have our rapid fire. You can use your trap master and rapid fire someone if they're running away, and you can actually pop them with the trap as they're running away, which is a really, really good thing you can do. Barrage, I don't use this typically that often. If you have to attack from range, it's not too bad. And then we just have our other skills. We also have Bloodthirsty, which continuously recovers 50% of all lost health for 8 seconds. When the effect ends, suffer Bloodthirsty crash and take 50% of the lost health over the next 8 seconds. So essentially what this is it basically delays you from dying for 8 seconds. So a lot of times, I don't use this that often, but we'll talk about the ultimate here in a second. But if all of my healing's on cooldown and I'm taking a lot of pressure, you can hit this and then still get some defensiveness up while you're waiting for maybe your ultimate to come up, or waiting for, your soul steal to come back up. So you can do that to help mitigate the damage, because you're going to be able to basically heal back to full, but you need a little bit of extra time to do it. I don't use a skill that often, but it does come in handy a time or two. All right, let's go to the melee tray, where it is our bread and butter. So we have, of course, our gap closure, which can do a knockdown. We have twin surge, which is really good. It does some damage, restores some stamina with the first hit. The second hit slashes in front of you twice for 216 damage, applies a weapon break, which reduces the target's damage by 20%, 15 seconds. And I think it's through the passive here. Yes. So on the second attack, it also inflicts a suppress. Pretty cool. This is pretty awesome and is just insane. So next, let's talk about cross slash. Like I said, this is an okay skill. I don't use it that often, but every once in a while I will, if I don't have maybe like my traps up, but this isn't that useful. We have poison blade, which we've talked about already. Soul steal, which we talked about already. Shrivel, we've also talked about already. Then we have concussive trap. When they get hit by this, they're going to be they're actually going to get we're going to get a barrier. They're going to get hit with the stun from it, and then they're going to get hit from the burning from the actual trap here. This is a lot of my setup. I will put this down and try to kite them around to where they hit it. And when they hit it, it just allows me to do a lot. And see, it does some 248 fire damage. Then we have our trap master skill, which is pretty insane. And then finally we have our ultimate, which is called sustain. Grants 40% lifesteal for 30 seconds or until you have restored 30% of your maximum health. This reduces exposed status, reduces damage taken, and grants immunity to crowd control effects for 5 seconds. This power can be used while suffering from crowd control effects to escape and be instantly flash cast. What that means is if you get CC'd, instead of retaliating, you can use this as a retaliate, and that is frequently something that I do, especially on all your classes. If you get CC'd, and right now with there's so much CC in the game, you really don't want to go through your stamina that much, you can use this to get out of dodge. And this is our sustain tool, along with a few of the other things that I've mentioned, but this is going to allow you to sustain for pretty much ever. It comes off, you can actually charge it up pretty quick, and it's pretty insane. Now let's go over here to the mobs. All right, this way. And on a side note, we are running mail armor on this build. It's pretty insane. With this mail armor, you can, and now it looks all colorful, but this is actually just all war tribe gear. None of it is special at all. As you can see, it's a 98, which is a pretty decent one-handed weapon, but it's not nearly what you can get via crafting. So let's go over here, and I'll just show you a little bit about how the build works. Now, this build can actually also solo chiefs and kings. Well, not kings, but captains, chiefs, really easily if they're low enough level. You can actually be a pseudo tank. Let's just grab up all these guys. Just show you the power of Trapmaster and our healing, which I don't know if these guys will get us slow enough to where we need the healing. Let's let them hit us a little bit. All right. We're gonna hit our Trapmaster, and we're gonna put down this. Look at our health. We're just perpetually at full. We're just staying at full. We got barriers. We got infinite sustain. I'm not even hitting people very hard. We're just going around, and now everything's dead. Now, at the end of this video, you'll see a clip from my stream. Oh, here we go. Let's try this TV1 here. Come on. All right, here we go. All right, we're the same level as this guy. We're just gonna keep putting the pressure on him. We're gonna suppress him here in a second. Ooh. We're gonna put this down. Our Trap Master's almost up. Trap Master's up. We're gonna put this down. We're gonna put this down. And we're gonna get our healing up. We're gonna try to stick on this last boy here. We're gonna suppress him now. We don't have any toxins on us right now. We're gonna go ahead and hit that. Get our healing back up. Oh, we got hit by the stun. He's almost dead. We're gonna put a poison on him. We got our ultimate back up. Knocked him down. He's almost dead. He's dead. All right. Now let's go on this guy. We're going to put our concussive trap down. We're going to put our soul steal down. Suppress him. Trap Master's back up. And he stealthed and ran away. Oh, no, there he is. All right, hold on. He's at half health. That down. This just shows you how insane this build is. We shriveled him, so now he's getting hit. We've actually been doing bad on our shrivels. He's just getting so much pressure. We're gonna suppress him here. Oh, we didn't get our suppress off. That was a good dodge by him. Ooh, we hit the wrong button here. And he's gonna pop out of stealth here in a second. And I think he just ran away. Okay, you can kind of see the power of the build there. I am pretty much full health. We have a bunch of traps just laying around for this person if they were to ever show up again. Now they were just the same level as me. The clip that you're going to see after this video right here is actually going to be a 1v3, and there was a level, I think 2 level 31s and a level 32, or a 31, a 32, and a 30. And I'm only level 30 with War Tribe gear, so I don't know if they had crafted gear or what they had, but you're going to see the real power of this class. And you can see it there. I played that really bad. I'm a little rusty on the class, but even though I played it bad, I never had to bandage. I never had to, I mean, I got pretty low a couple times, but like I didn't have my soul steal up. I wasn't putting shrivel on the targets. Like I could have played that 10 times better, and I was still fairly easily 1v2ing there. All right, guys. Well, that is the Warden class. That is the reason why I'm going the melee build. I mean, you're going to see it in the clip after this, but this class is pretty insane. I love it. It's going to be a class that I'm going to run, and I can't wait to have you guys out there and get raging because you guys are using this class against me. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Enjoy this clip after here, and I hope you have a great day. Peace.
Walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Feel like a dynamite, ready to explode right up in the sky. I need you to listen, I need you to hear, and don't show any fear. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul.
Quiet's driving me insane. Silence rattles in my brain. Yeah, I gotta get away.
Look at that. Let's go.